Hello, can you see me okay? Welcome back. Today I am using a brand new microphone. I'm very excited about it. I got it just for you. I recorded that first shot of a nice little palm tree outside my house as the sun was setting. It has now set. The sun has now set. Today I just wanted to have sort of like an extended conversation on COVID and the pandemic. Gross. I wanted to talk mostly about how I feel like the world has kind of just moved on from the pandemic, and I don't know that I'm there yet. Like, I'm trying so hard to be, but I don't know that I'm fully like out of it yet. And I wanted to talk about that, sort of like that lingering fear almost, or like that, I don't know, just that lingering awareness that I feel like this heightened anxiety still. And I imagine that many other people out there kind of feel the same way, where it feels like the rest of the world just kind of like moved on. And I haven't totally done that yet. And it's just something that's been on my mind recently. And that's because on the day of filming this, February 1st, 2 years ago exactly, I went into quarantine for 22 days. And back then, like going into quarantine was fucking scary. This was not like going into quarantine because you got Omicron and you have to like have some sniffles for 5 days and then you're good. This was really, really scary stuff before the vaccines, before any of that. That period of 22 days really like fucked up a lot of my college experience. It was my freshman year of college, and it had a lot of lingering impacts into how I view my personal safety today and just how I think about COVID. The reason I got quarantined was because someone on my dorm floor got COVID. And because the rest of us lived on the same floor, we were all quarantined, and it ended up being for 22 days. Outside of that though, I have definitely noticed in this last like academic year especially, or maybe just the last 6 months, it feels like everyone has moved on. Everyone's thrown away their masks. We're all going to the clubs and like returning to life as normal. And I've tried really hard to do that. I don't feel like I'm there fully though. Growing up, I was always kind of a germaphobe. I remember before the pandemic holding my breath in the hallways sometimes, especially during like flu season, trying not to get sick, using a lot of hand sanitizer. And all of those feelings of anxiety were only heightened by COVID. Suddenly, it wasn't just like the hand sanitizer and the holding your breath, but it was like one mask, and then it was 2 masks, and then, every vaccine imaginable. And we never really made it out like we were promised. I think there was this expectation that it would be here for a year and then we would make it out with the vaccines that would rescue us and then we would be good to go. And that just like wasn't what happened, of course. And now it's 3 years later and I still feel a lot of anxiety about it. I've had COVID and it was easy. It was not hard on me. I was super lucky. Like I didn't struggle at all. And still I feel anxiety over it. I still wear my mask in class. I think I come up with a different excuse like every time. 6 months ago, I was wearing a mask, not because I really felt like I needed to, but because if I got sick, then that would impact my performance at my internship and I might not get a return offer. So I'll just wear my mask. At the start of the school year, I didn't really need to wear my mask, but I live with a roommate now, and if I got sick and I had to quarantine from her and she gets sick, I don't want to feel responsible for that. So I'll just wear a mask. And now I've taken a lot of positive steps for my personal health by like working out and just feeling a lot better about exercise. And so like I don't need to wear a mask. Like I'll be okay. But if I get sick, then maybe I won't be able to work out for a week, and I don't want to fall off the bandwagon. Like I don't want to fuck that up. And so I feel like every few months there's like a new excuse as to why I should just keep wearing my mask for a little bit, or just keep skipping the party, just being careful. And it's such a slippery slope because it's not like you shouldn't do these things. Wearing a mask is probably safer. It's not like in isolation any of these decisions are bad, but they add up over time and it starts to feel like missing out on life things, like when we were promised that we were going to go back to life, and I've just been missing out a little. I've also been thinking about this recently because I did some travel to Los Angeles. I saw a lot of people there, went to a lot of events. I didn't get sick. And then even more recently, one of my friends turned 21 and we were deciding about going to the Castro to go to some clubs. And for me, the decision was not like, oh, do I really want to do this? It was, do I want to get sick? Like I can go to the Castro and know I'm going to have a great time, but I will get sick. Or I can stay home and not get sick. Like ultimately, I decided to go to the clubs. And guess what? I did have a good time. And I didn't wear a mask. And they were fucking packed. And I didn't get sick. And it was like for the first time in 3 years I'd done that. And it was just shocking. I was totally expecting to, I don't know, come down with something. And then I didn't. And it made me question a lot of like, what have I been losing out on these past few years, especially in the last year? And like, what are my motivations for continuing to live my life carefully? This can really be taken to an extreme as a germaphobe, and I think I've been there. I'm pretty lucky in my germophobia in that like it doesn't totally derail my life, but it can get there. Like it has led me to isolate myself for months, to not see friends. There were definitely points where like right after riding the bus I'd have to come home and shower. It kind of comes in waves. And so while I feel like we could all be a little healthier, all a little safer and a little more precautious, I can very easily go down the slippery slope of that and can turn it into something not productive. I feel like I don't want to wear a mask anymore. I'm tired of it. I don't think it's especially necessary at this moment. But I can't bring myself to not do it. And that is the conundrum. I hope I'll get there soon, but I don't have much more to say about this topic. I think you've heard my thoughts. I'm curious to know yours, if anyone else is still sort of kind of coming out of this like weird limbo and how you're dealing with that. And yeah, if you have any suggestions of maybe how to break out of it, please let me know. But for now, I just keep on keeping on, you know? I hope you found this video helpful. I think that's all I wanted to say. I'll see you all in like 3 months. Have a good night.